Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, my dear Prabhus, dear Matajis. Thank you for joining our morning japa session. Again, that is 5:30 to 7 o'clock. You can log in and log out anytime. But of course, everyone is welcome to chant with us the whole session. So yes, we could chant our minimum rounds, 1.5 hour, or more or less, you would finish your 16 rounds. So that would be awesome. Hmm. So, and welcome to our Monk in the Middle podcast, the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hello muna. Chandrika Mataji from China, Hare Krishna, Tina, Mataji, Levi, Prabhu, Carla. Yeah, wonderful interview last night. Mother Moksha Lakshmi Mataji, Hare Krishna, Rolly Prabhu, Hare Krishna, happy birthday. Makoy Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Oliver Prabhu, good morning, Hare Krishna, Paula Prabhu, Chantal Mataji, Hare Krishna, Riza Mataji, Hare Krishna, good morning. You know the drill. We should be always in the right mood, in the mood of request, in the mood of humility, as we enter the realm of our study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So join me as we recite the invocation mantras. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamas Loke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. I offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudev. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So previously in our session, yesterday, we discussed about Mother Bhumi, Earth, or she is in the form of a cow, and also Dharma. He is in the form of a bull. But this bull was being tortured. 3 of his legs were cut off by Kali personified. And also, Bhumi Mataji, Mother Cow, have the dark shadow of grief in her face. And actually, Mother Bhumi and Dharma is lamenting for what is happening in this Kali Yuga because of the start of this Kali Yuga, the spread of this Kali Yuga, um, started when Lord Krishna ascended and left the material world. And we started also the chapter 17, where Maharaj Pariksit will chastise this Kali who is a pretender. Continue reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, creation. If you have this version, it is on the part 3 of the book, the third book. We are reading from chapter 17, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali. So yes, on the text number 4, we discuss how a great leader, Maharaj Pariksit, is actually a strong executive head. He is not actually just dressed as royalty, as an authority or administrator. This kind of leadership we can observe. We could observe now in this modern age, although wearing or having the position, having the title of a leader, they act differently. Sri Prabhupada mentioned the dress or style of royal order does not count. It is one's action which are counted. Very strong statement. And I'm always actually wondering regarding this leadership study. Even before, I was always reading a lot of leadership book, but the best leadership book you could read is the Srimad Bhagavatam, because the best personality who practice this are Krishna's devotees or even Krishna himself. Text number 5, translation. So yes, those who are new to this Srimad Bhagavatam study, and also those who are watching the Facebook Live, this study we are reading more or less 5 to 10 verses per day. Some other times we will have Radhanath Prabhu and Navadip Chanya Prabhu. Shout out sa inyo. And we are reading the translation. We are discussing the purports, and we call it in the philosophy Tika and Tipani. We've put fence, and also from that fence we don't go beyond it, but we go deeper. So in that kind of discussion, we put fence on what is being discussed, and we go deeper. Of course, by the help of, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and other acharyas, we could learn much more. We could see how it is relevant to our daily lives. Text number 5. Oh, who are you? You appear to be strong, and yet you dare kill within my protection those who are helpless. By your dress, you pose yourself to be a godly man, king, but by your deeds, you are opposing the principles of the twice-born Kshatriyas. This is King Pariksit speaking and addressing Kali personified. Kali is actually like a very black person, and lower than a Sudra, but dressed as a king, like a pretender. So we have a picture. So that's Kali personified, trying to kill Dharma. But he is being checked by King Pariksit. So we could observe here, Srila Prabhupada is actually always reminding us and always putting in the purport how important it is to have a good executive head, a good leader. Because this is not a very easy task. This is also a very, like a big responsibility. It is actually what we call thankless task. And within his protection, just like an executive head, the president or leader, his subordinate is under his protection. And those who are also animals, we call them praja, should be also protected. The cows, the bulls, and other lower beings are also residents of that area. Maharaj Pariksit is the emperor, the king of the whole world. So every living entity, including all the animals, are under his protection. And killing of a cow or a bull is the most, how do you call this, abominable act. This is the most sacred animal, like what Navadip Chandra mentioned yesterday. After the soul who were in the body of a cow, next life would be they will be transformed into the body of a human being. So when you kill them, they have to take birth again into a cow's body. You are delaying, one is delaying his transition into a human body. At the same time, the cows and bulls are the most sacred, very dear to Krishna. They're serving also the humanity and earth, and they are very harmless. The, as we know, we have three modes of material nature: the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. We have animals under the mode of ignorance. We have animals in the mode of passion. Of course, the mode of ignorance, they are those who are also lazy, sleepy, and all. Those who are in the mode of passion, those animals are like the tigers. Those are very passionate. And we have those animals who are in the mode of goodness. Those are the cows and bulls. Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, in the age of Kali, the poor helpless animals, especially the cows, which are meant to receive all sorts of protection from the administrative heads, are killed without restrictions. This is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, the leaders allowed the society to build slaughterhouses. The businessmen actually make money out of it. The brahmanas could not do anything, and also the sudras are also involved in killing the animals. So these special four orders are involved in this killing of cows. And in the scriptures, it was mentioned when the cows and the bulls are being tortured and killed, it is the cause of famine and drought. It is the cause of war, actually, in this material world. And collective karma is surely to be received by mass of people. And that's why there are wars, there are pandemics, and calamities. So these are one of the reason. This is one of the reason. Therefore, in the age of Kali, everyone is unhappy due to maladministration of the state. So it was mentioned here twice born. Those who are twice born are the Kshatriyas, the Brahmanas, because they were born in a much more nice arrangement within their family. Most probably in a spiritual advanced or spiritually inclined na families. And their second birth would be the initiation, the Nam Diksha and the Mantra Diksha. So those are considered to be twice born, Dvija, in the Sanskrit terms. And yeah, this is being condemned by Maharaj Pariksit, that this twice born principles or Brahminical principles should not be deviated by this Kali personified. Text number 6. You rogue, do you dare beat an innocent cow because Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the carrier of the Gandiva bow, are out of sight? Since you are beating the innocent in a secluded place, you are considered a culprit and therefore deserve to be killed. So in the perfect administration and and the perfect power and authority of a great leader. Killing of an animal is also um, punishable by death penalty, just like killing a child in a secluded place. You could, I don't know if you remember, you could notice the 10 Commandments, and I forgot which number was that. Thou shalt not kill. I think that was the fourth. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill means to kill a living entity, killing an animal. You cannot argue that killing is only for human being. No, if that is so, they should have used, or God should have used, thou shalt not murder. So killing of animals, and now actually they created just 2 commandments. So that is very important. And one who is killing an animal, like Marish Pariksit was mentioning here, you rogue, and one is just killing an innocent cow, very harmless, without mercy. At the same time, this cow cannot fight back. That's very different. And that's why he's doing it in a secluded place, because there are parts in the Vedas where one could have a fire sacrifice where you have to sacrifice animals, lower species. But of course, this is not for enjoyment. They would not eat the body of the cow or the other lower species animals. Usually, they use this when they sacrifice the animal. The priest or the brahmanas will whisper mantras to the ears of that animals to be sacrificed. He will mention that this time I will have to kill you, but after this lifetime, you will need to kill me. So there are 2 parts in the Vedas talking about this animal sacrifice. One is to test the mantras, the purity of the priests and the brahmanas. And when they offer and when they sacrifice the animals, these animals will come back to life. The other is those who are not really, those who cannot really control their sense of taste, those who really wants to eat animal flesh, they are actually, according to the Vedas, allowed, but once a month, the lower species only, usually the goat. Then they have to kill the goat by themselves and have all these sacrifices, and that's the mantra that they were saying. This time I will have to kill you, and but next life he will kill me. So if one is really wise enough, he knows that he is entering into a trap of birth and death, the samsara. So that's actually a gradual process in renouncing that kind of sense gratification. The Vedas is giving us that. And actually, the people, as time goes by, are being degraded and using this kind of sacrifices to eat animals regularly, to even establish slaughterhouses everywhere, and use Vedas just for sense gratification, their sense gratification. They misunderstood purposely the Vedas for their sense gratification. That's why, of course, Lord Buddha came as an incarnation of Krishna to delude these people to not believe these Vedas, to stop killing of animals, and propagated ahimsa or non-violence. That's why originally the Buddhists are vegetarians. They wanted to, Lord Buddha wanted to get these people out of their old habits of killing animals. At first, to deny the Vedas, the Vedic scriptures. It is a preparation of Krishna in different lifetimes, actually, how he prepared people to be back on the praise and the worship of Krishna. After Gautama Buddha, after Buddha, he incarnated no, he sent his pure devotee, Lord Shiva, incarnated into Sankaracharya, and this Sankaracharya promoted impersonalism and Mayavadi philosophy. I am God, all is one. And even Sankaracharya have commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita. But of course, it is the plan of Krishna, the great plan of Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, he mentioned in his commentary, he mentioned that the ultimate, the supreme personality of God is Narayan, is Krishna. Still, he is trying to delude people out of impersonalism, atheism, I mean, from Lord Buddha's um, philosophy. He's trying to bring back these people to the Vedas, but at first, slowly, by bringing the Mayavad philosophy. I am God, you are God. And they greet each other, Namo Narayana. My God in me respects and pay obeisances to the God in you. But of course, Sankaracharya is Lord Shiva himself. He is a great devotee of Krishna. It's only the trick. And when Madhavacharya and Lord Chaitanya came, fully, they bring back those people to the practice and the culture of the Vedas, the tradition of the Vedas, and bring back the personalistic, personal philosophy that Krishna is the supreme person, the supreme personality of Godhead, and we are connected to Him eternally. We are part and parcel of Krishna. When we go back to His abode, we don't merge with Him. We will not lose our identity. Rather, our eternal position, our dharma, as the eternal servant of the servant of Krishna, is forever there. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And this is actually the key to cleanse our heart from all that dust from the mirror of the heart and also the anarthas, the unwanted baggages, for us to revive that eternal relationship to Krishna, that dormant love to Krishna, that we are actually the servant and Krishna is the enjoyer. But of course, if the servant serves the master, the servant is also pleased. This is transcendental. And the analogy was given just like watering the root of the tree. When you water the root of the tree, everyone is satisfied, even the demigods. And of course, yourself. So let's continue text number 7. Text number 7. Then he, Maharaj Pariksit, asked the bull, "Oh, who are you? Are you a bull as white as a white lotus? Or are you a demigod? You have lost 3 of your legs and are moving on only one. Are you some demigod causing us grief in the form of the bull?" So Maharaj Pariksit is checking if this bull or Dharma is a demigod. He is also paying respect. And actually, he will continue to question the bull, checking out how he is. He is talking to also the mother cow, Bhumi. So 2 of them, if you could remember, the 2 of them were talking in the previous chapter. And now they've met King Pariksit. Text number 8. Now, for the first time in a kingdom well protected by the arms of the kings of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of her royal negligence. So again, this is a form of leadership. He is considering himself one of the reason why the bull is crying and suffering. A leader always takes responsibility. In the normal world, when we watch the news, when something happened, the leader would always point fingers, blame someone, blame this department, blame these things, or blame the people. But the real leader takes responsibilities of what is happening, specifically when fault was um, being pointed to someone else, he will take the blame. That is leadership. Because what's happening under his protection, his subordinate, the fault of his subordinate is actually his fault. So he is saying here, for the first time actually in the kingdom, protected by the arms. Actually, the arms is always like a symbol. The arms is the protection. And Krishna, um, the Kshatriyas, these leaders, are also just like Krishna's arms. And from the kings of Kuru dynasty, King Pariksit is a descendant, the new generation of this Kuru dynasty, where also the Pandavas and the Bhishma Dev and others are under this. So he's taking the blame on this, and under this protection, this bull Dharma is crying. Sri Prabhupada mentioned here the protection of the lives of both the human beings and the animals is the first and foremost duty of the government. The government must not discriminate in such principles. So that's what's happening now. The government is trying to protect the humans only. Just trying, because he is not actually absolutely protecting all humans. We could see the partiality of the government, the leaders. Those who are close to him, those who are uh, privileged are protected. And those who are in the lower class are always neglected. We could observe, especially here in the Philippines, you cross just one village, one gate of your village, you could see a different way of life. I could always remember I grew up in the south, in Manila, in Parañaque. You cross one village, it's a first world. Bigger house, the biggest house you can see. One block is just owned by one family, and you could see all the amenities just inside their house. I've witnessed this because some of them became my friends. I grew up in a middle class family, in a um, middle class village, by the hard work of my parents and my grandmother. They enrolled me into a first class school on the other village, a first class village. So I've witnessed this world. And also, when I cross another village, it's the slum areas. So I have friends, and my playmates are from this area. So I am very fortunate to see different worlds, different class of people. And of course, you could see how the government and also the leaders are not are very partial actually. And in comparison, during this time, King Pariksit and all the saintly kings, the Raja Rishis, are actually protecting all the citizens. He could not just make a comfortable arrangement for himself and also his subordinate, close subordinate, his inner circle, or those who are privileged. One should always look after those who are underprivileged. This is the duty of the government, but not just human beings, also the animals. Sadly, very few, or at least none, if not, at least most of, if not none at all, the leaders in this modern world are not protecting the animals. There are some who are trying actually, but in comparison to what Manoj Pariksit is doing, today is very different. And the animals are not protected. The slaughterhouses are allowed, and the animals are, especially those who are harmless, are being slaughtered just for the sake of this. few inches of our body organ, the taste and the sense of taste. There is actually facts that eating on a diet of plant-based will give you will have um, how do you call this, insufficient nutritions, proteins and all. That's actually being was debunked even decades ago. What to think or what to say, and of this technology, to what we have now, and all the documentaries, and even the athletes. There are a lot of vegan, vegetarian athletes who doesn't have any problem with protein deficiency. We can have like those who are since birth vegetarian, like Shama Bihari, my Prabhu here. Yeah. For sure, he had never had a protein deficiency in his life. I know him. So let's continue. Text number 9. O son of Surabi, you need lament no longer now. There is no need to fear this low-class Sudra. And, O mother cow, as long as I am living as the ruler and subduer of all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. So Maharaj Pariksit is talking still to the son of Surabi. Surabi is the form of the cow in the spiritual world. Just like Krishna, Krishna Prabhupada mentioned, just like Krishna created the human beings in his form. At the same time, the cows are also created in the form same as Mother Surabi. The son of Surabi, the bull, and also Mother Cow is being assured by King Pariksit for them to not worry no more, to lament no more, because he will protect them. Protection of the bulls and cows are all and all other animals can be possible only when there is a state ruled by an executive head like Maharaj Pariksit. Other than that, if there's no great leaders with strong authority, it will not happen. With the wrong use of democracy, with the wrong use of being in that position, no one could really protect human beings. What more these animals? Sadly, sad but true. And of course, he is mentioning here those who are killing animals should be punished. Yes, and of course, we know the mantras we use for offering our boga, our food to Krishna to become for it to become prasadam. We chant the mantra Go Brahma Hitaya Cha, because go means cow. It means senses and cow. So Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Krishna is the protector of the cows. He's the lord of the cows. As you can see, he's always in association with cows. In the Vaikunta planet, that's the spiritual world, we have parts where there are Vaikunta planets, unlimited planets. This is the place where Krishna, in the form of Narayan, is in a relationship with his devotee as Owen Reverence, one of the 5 rasa, Aishvarya Bhav, Owen Reverence. He is the king there, and others are servants. Of course, he has his 4 arms there, and the servants also the residents in Vaikunta Lokas, or the Vaikunta Vasis. They have also the same form as Krishna in the Narayan form, 4-arm form. But the position of Krishna there is a king. In the spiritual world, it's very different. Krishna is not the king there. He is a coward boy. The pastime of Krishna when he was a child in Vrindavan, he's a coward boy, is an eternal pastime of Krishna. Nitya Lila is originally a coward boy, having a flute in his hand, playing with the cows and calves, playing with the gopas and gopis. So that is Krishna's original form. Even when Krishna came to this material world, he is performing his pastime as a coward boy. As you can see, if you're watching the Little Krishna, and if also you're reading the Krishna book, when Krishna is performing pastimes, killing demons once, twice a day, in the Little Krishna, you will see him. The demons are seeing him with armors, and also Krishna, and the point of view of the viewers, the artist will portray Krishna wearing armors, because that is Krishna's Vasudeva form. Krishna's original form is having the flute. So those who kill the demons is not the Krishna with the flute. That is Krishna, the Vasudeva form. And also when Krishna went out of Vrindavan, he stayed, actually, he is forever and eternally in Vrindavan. The one who went out of Vrindavan is the Vasudeva form of Krishna, wearing the armors, the sword, and also without the flute. That is the difference. That is the distinction. So you can see in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna doesn't have any flute there. So Krishna is the Lord of the cows, eternally. And also, he protects the Brahmanas. And the kings is the follower of the Vedas, the code of religion, or the code of Krishna. One should also protect the cows and the Brahmanas. Text number 10 to 11. O chaste one, the king's good name, duration of life, and good rebirth vanish when all kinds of living beings are terrified by miscreants in his kingdom. It is certainly the prime duty of the king to subdue first the suffering of those who suffer. Therefore, I must kill this most wretched man, because he is violent against other living beings. So the duty of the king, the leader, is to alleviate the sufferings of those subordinate to him, those who suffers, and to punish those who cause these sufferings. It is actually the karma of the king if he punished a wrong person. So if one punished a wrong person, the leader, even not the king, even a small-time leader in the society, leader in the state, or leader in the country, or president, those who are being punished without any crime committed, those who are innocent, if they are being punished, large percent of that karma will be going to that king or that leader. And if he actually are ruling the subordinate and the residents of that place, he's also getting good karmas if he's ruling successfully, and he's protecting those who are sufferings. So these are the karma, good and bad karma of the king. And also his duty to protect those who suffer and to kill those who cause the sufferings of others, not just by human, but also by animals. Originally, we have the aggressors, those who burn the house, those who try to kill, attack with weapons, those who plunder the wealth, those who get the land, those who try to steal the wife, and those who give poison. Those are 6 aggressors, and they are subjected to be punished by death penalty. And the kings, or the Kshatriyas, it is their duty, actually. They could kill them by themselves. They are allowed to, because they are soldiers, Kshatriyas. Kshatriya means protector of those, protector from harm. and also they are the leaders and they are the soldiers. They are not businessmen. In the modern times, those who are businessmen became the leader of the society. Those who are sudras, those who are famous, they are also elected because of their fame. But they were not born and trained and raised to become a leader. So that's why we have a lot of discrepancy. Of course, it's not always like that. Some others could study how to become a leader. But generally, the failures in this system is happening because of this kind of arrangement, this kind of system. So these murderers, dacoits, and thieves in this society, they are the bad social elements. They should be punished. They should really be punished. First, you will stop their karma because they're doing their karmas as their lifestyle. They're stealing, they're killing, they're like creating harm. If one does not stop that, they will continue to um, deposit a lot of bad karma, and they will have to um, harvest that in the future. So it is actually favorable to them if one is being punished because of that sins, especially when it is actually death penalty. It is actually a benefit for them because the karma will be stopped and they will not have to suffer next lives. They will have a new chance in their next life. But of course, we cannot apply that now because we have leaders who are untrained, unqualified, not guided by the scriptures, not guided by proper advisors, saintly advisors, and they could abuse this death penalty. So it's a place of misery, this Kali Yuga. And a living being, if he terrifies other living beings, is a most wretched subject, and the king should at once kill such a disturbing element. Very hard. Very hard statement, yes. But of course, this is duly practiced depending on the body one living entity have. A tiger could kill their prey. They are the predator. That's their way of surviving, living. Just like humans, we also have to take on lower beings, the plants, the fruits, the root crops, the grains. They are lower species, not the animals. They're because this body is made to consume that kind of animals. I mean, plants. Those who consume the animals are just for emergency. It is not a way or an excuse to justify also for one to take and one to consume animal flesh. It is just for emergency. Just like an example here, Vashista Muni. He is the gurus of different devotees in different pastimes. You have to take animal flesh just for emergency purpose, just for survival. Such foolish men do not even believe in the existence of the next life. This is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada because those who are in the government position, those who are leaders, if one doesn't believe in the next life and their philosophy in life is after this lifetime, we will just go back to earth. This body is composed of elements. They don't believe in souls. So it will be nothing after this. So whatever bad deeds or good deeds they do now, it will result to nothing next life. So if one have this philosophy, atheistic philosophy, they could do anything because they just have to escape the law of this earth. If they escape, it's okay. The life is happy and merry, and they don't worry about next life. So it's very demoniac. That is the atheistic philosophy. They don't have conscience, and if they could go around this human law, they would do it. If they have money, they could pay. Little that they know, all that is being done, or the actions of people, is what we call the karma, and we will have reactions, even if we agree or do not agree. Just like when a person coming from a province, they don't have pedestrian lane there, they don't have stoplights. If you go to BGC, or let's say much more strict place in anywhere in Makati, where there's a lot of traffic enforcers and policemen. If you cross a road without a pedestrian lane on a go signal in the wrong place, he will be caught by the policeman. Of course, he could justify that he is coming from the province and it's new for him. But he is still subjected to the law of the state. He's subject to punishment. He could justify, sometimes he could be forgiven, but on a larger scale, if one does a thing like trespass or do other things that are not allowed, really allowed by law, even without him knowing it, he is subjected to the consequences. So even one doesn't believe in this law of karma, he will take part of the reactions for sure, for sure. That is the law of karma. That is the law of material nature. Very equal, very fair. Text number 12. He, Maharaj Pariksit, repeatedly addressed and questioned the bull thus, O son of Surabhi, who has cut off your 3 legs? In the state of the kings who are obedient to the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, there is no one as unhappy as you. So again, Srila Prabhupada is explaining here that Maharaj Pariksit, under the law, he is mentioning under the law of a king, those who are subordinate, those who are actually following the orders of the state and the kings, those who are really obedient in the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, should be given extra protection. The state or the leader should not be partial to anyone. But of course, if one is really obedient, he is taking care of them specifically with extra care. Just like Krishna, he's equal to everyone. The analogy of the sun is given. The sun will shine everywhere in different time zone depending on the arrangement of the position of the earth and the sun. He doesn't discriminate. Oh, I will not give the sunshine to the people from the city, from Manila, because they are very sinful. Now, actually, the sun is giving the sunshine to that area specifically, without any partiality. But of course, one could hide in the shadow. One could escape the sun and the sunshine if one go under the shed of one roof or whatsoever, under the shadow. Same thing, Krishna is actually equal to everyone, giving his mercy and blessing to everyone. But there are those who are exposing themselves to that mercy of Krishna and receiving them. There are those who are foolish and escaping this mercy of Krishna, trying to take shelter from the sunshine and going to Maya or illusion. It is the free will of people. And Krishna is favorable to those who are under his taking shelter. Just like the king is giving extra protection to those who are really obedient, and will punish those who are the cause of sufferings of this living entity. That's why it was mentioned a while ago by Sri Prabhupada, those who are pure-hearted, Let's read that. Text number 8. It is simply horrible for a pure hearted soul to see organized animal killing by the state in this age of Kali. So the compassion should not only be um, directed to human beings, much more we could be compassionate to the lower beings because they are harmless. They could not fight back. They don't have a voice. And people are abusing them just for sense of taste, just for money. And if one is advancing spiritually, his heart will be much more soft. His heart will be subjected to the compassion, and he will feel also the pain of those who are suffering. That is his suffering, the suffering of saintly people, those who are advancing spiritually. Their suffering is the pain of others. Text number 13. O bull, you are offenseless and thoroughly honest. Therefore, I wish all good to you. Please tell me of the perpetrator of these mutilations, which blackmail the reputation of the sons of Pirta. So this resident, pseudo-resident, this Kali personified, dressed, pretending to be a king, is actually blackmailing, or what we could say, giving a wrong impression to the kingly orders. If a state ruled by a great king and one subordinate is acting not according to the rules of that state or that king, much more is abusing and being the cause of the suffering of other living entities. That state is that person who is doing the being the cause of the suffering is representing the whole state. So a wrong deed of a person represents the whole state. So Maharaj Pariksit here is saying this perpetrator is being is blackmailing the reputation, giving the stain or destroying the reputation of the state or the king, and that's why he should be punished. And again, he is addressing the bull Dharma as offenseless and thoroughly honest. Herein lies the difference between the reign of those pious kings and the modern state ruled by a irresponsible executive head without knowledge of the codes of Krishna. That is why these personalities are called Raja Rishis, saintly kings. In the modern age, they want to remove or separate the spiritual practice and the government. Originally, they are together because the law, the code of Krishna is the law. That is the original practice. Now, and if you read the history, other kings want it to be removed in that practice because they want to make the rules for their own ulterior motives. They whimsically create laws. Sometimes they will get lost from the laws of Krishna, but most of the time they will create a law that will protect their assets, that will protect their business, their power, and their position. And these are the modern irresponsible executive head because they are ignorant of the knowledge of the codes of Krishna. That's why it's very important for the king or the leaders to have saintly advisors, not those advisors who are businessmen or other politicians as well. They could be part of the team or advisors, but the saintly advisors, the sadhus, should always be there. That is the role of the Brahmana, to give advice to the Kshatriyas or the leaders. And the Kshatriyas' role or the leaders' roles is to protect the Brahmana, the Vaishyas or the businessman, and also the Sudras. So the Kshatriya protect all these, the other three. The Brahmana specifically guides the Kshatriyas, advisors, as an advisor. Text number 14. Whoever causes offenseless living beings to suffer must fear me anywhere and everywhere in the world. By curbing dishonest miscreants, one automatically benefits the offenseless. So one should be afraid of the king because the king will punish this kind of miscreants. Yes, ito, basahin natin ito. This is very important. But when the executive heads are strong enough to curb all sorts of dishonest miscreants in any part of the state, certainly they could flourish. Because if these executive heads are not punishing those who are miscreants, dishonest miscreants, the world could not flourish because they are taking part of that crime. If the leaders allow that crime or that abominable act, they are also the culprit. They are accomplice of the crime. Text number 15. An upstart living being who commits offenses by torturing those who are offenseless shall be directly uprooted by me, even though he be a denizen of heaven with armor and decorations. So here, the king should not be partial, and if the person is rich, he could be forgiven easily. No. Pariksit Maharaj even are emphasizing here, even he is a demigod, denizen of heaven with armors, he will fight. If you are the cause of suffering of others, he will. One must punish even the demigods. That's how powerful an emperor is. Much more a Raja Rishi, like King Pariksit, a saintly king. Last text for today, text number 16. The supreme duty of the ruling king is to give all protection to law-abiding persons and to chastise those who stray from the ordinance of the scriptures in ordinary times when there is no emergency. So yes, this is the I stand corrected. The sadhu who consume flesh for an emergency purpose is Vishwamitra, hindi si Vasishta, not Vashishta, Vishwamitra, in case of emergency. But other than that, if one is a law-abiding person, obedient, should be protected. And if one who is not, should be chastised, just like Kali personified. So that is one characteristic of kings. You could see in my Srimad Bhagavatam, I always put marks. So yan. These are Srila Prabhupada's commentary, also the verses regarding the ruling or leadership. I'm just compiling something for a course. And I'm really actually amazed. If one really reads, studies the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, one could learn a lot. Mostly what he wants to learn about leadership, management, how to live the life. You could learn from Krishna and his devotees. They are the perfect example. So that is the session for today regarding the ideal king, Maharaj Pariksit, and he appropriately chastised Kali. So tomorrow we will continue together with Radhanath Prabhu and Navadip Chandra Prabhu to study how Pariksit Maharaj discusses the cause of suffering of the cow and the bull. And we will learn also the reward, the punishment and the reward given to Kali personified. Hopefully, I have shared something beneficial for everyone. Please pray for and give me your blessings to me so I could also practice that in my daily lives. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Pariksit ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to you, assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna, Chandrika, Tina, Levi, Carla, Moksha, Lakshmi, Mataji, Rolly Prabhu, Makoya Prabhu, Oliver Prabhu, Paula Prabhu, Jonah Mataji, and Riza Mataji. Thank you very much. Next time I'll study Mandarin. Magmamandarin tayo. Yan, si Jonah nakakaintindi. Hare Krishna, Chandrika, say hello. My regards to your students in China. Hope to meet them soon. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Good morning. Don't forget to finish your rounds pala. Bye.